Gegard Mousasi and Austin Vanderford in the middleweight division. Gegard Mousasi, one of the greatest middleweights of all time, and I am not exaggerating. This man has beaten some amazing fighters. He's been fighting MMA since 2003. It is absolutely insane. The time where he first joined I would say, major MMA promotion was in 2008. He already had a 20 wins, 2 losses, and 1 loss on his MMA record. Joined M1 Challenge, first on knockout, first on submission, decision win, submission win, knockout win, submission, knockout. So many finishes in a row, and then after that, he starts to find a little bit better competition. Fedor Emelianenko, Gary Goodridge, Muhammad Lawal, Keith Jardine, Ovi St. Preux, Alir Latifi, all these guys. Then he joins the UFC in 2013, beats Alir Latifi, who, if you don't know, is a heavyweight fighter. He, right now, in the heavyweight division, I would say is about top 25 in the UFC heavyweight division. And Gegard Mousasi, a middleweight fighter, went up as a minus 1,000 favorite in the main events. Went out there and decisioned him. I mean, that is absolutely insane. Just that alone, that's very, very impressive. But not only that, he did go out there and beat guys like Mark Munoz, Dan Henderson by knockout, Tyler Latest, Thiago Santos by knockout, Vitor Belfort by knockout, Uriah Hall by knockout, Chris Weidman by knockout, and all of that should have been able for him to actually get a title shot in the UFC. He beat Chris Weidman, who at the time was 13-2, and it just lost to Yoel Romero and Luke Rocco. So at that point, Gegard Mousasi deserved a UFC title shot, and I'm gonna be honest, he would have beaten Luke Rocco. Gegard Mousasi was in the fighting spirit and the shape to actually go out there and be the UFC champion, but instead he goes on to Bellator and beats Alexander Shlemenko, Rafael Carvalho, Rory McDonald, Lyoto Machida, Douglas Lima, and John Salter, only losing to one of the greatest grapplers of all time in Rafael Lovato Jr. And in this video, we haven't really talked much about Austin Vanderford, but the reason is the only way that Gegard Mousasi is going to lose this fight is if Austin Vanderford can keep the pace with the wrestling and grappling for as long as Rafael Lovato Jr. was able to. Rafael's grappling and wrestling, I would say the grappling is a little bit better. Vanderford's wrestling is still a little bit better. The cardio goes Rafael, but him losing to Rafael Lovato Jr. is not the same as a fight with Austin Vanderford. Yeah, Austin is a very good wrestler, but he has not been in 5-round main event fights. I think Austin Vanderford's gas tank is really going to suffer in those later rounds. We've seen Gegard Mousasi do it to John Salter, where he kind of allowed John Salter to land a few takedowns, kind of use his gas tank a little bit in the first round and a little bit in the second round, and then come back where that wrestler and grappler is a little bit gassed and TKO them in the later rounds. That's exactly what I see happening here. The only reason he wasn't able to do that on Rafael Lovato Jr. is because Rafael is one of the greatest grapplers of all time. He has very, very solid cardio as well, grappling and wrestling all day, every day. So I don't think Austin Vanderford is going to be able to withstand 5 full rounds of action with Gegard Mousasi with the wrestling and grappling. It's possible, but Gegard's takedown defense is really good. His get-up game is really good. And after the fight hits the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, Gegard is going to absolutely destroy him. I don't think the fight goes all the way. I do believe Gegard Mousasi is going to get the TKO win. I'm going to go 3rd round here. I think Austin will do enough to survive the 1st and 2nd round, maybe even win the 1st and 2nd round, but after that, his gas tank's really going to suffer, and Gegard is going to come back like usual, and he's going to TKO the gassed Austin Vanderford. So in the middleweight division, for the Bellator middleweight strap, I got Gegard Mousasi defending for 4 times in a row, and beating Austin Vanderford by knockout in the 3rd round right here. And one guy in the comment section is saying, I don't think Austin is going to get gassed. He's never been in a 5-round main event. I'm not saying based on prior knowledge, like I've seen Austin Vanderford get gassed in any of his other fights. All I'm saying, he has never been in 5-round fights. He's never been in a fight with a guy like Gegard Mousasi, who will have the best takedown defense that Austin Vanderford has ever seen. Fabian Edwards, Vinci De Jesus, Graca Mazzina, all of these guys have decent takedown defense. This guy right here, Gegard Mousasi, has way better takedown defense, and the better your takedown defense is, the more gas the person going for the takedown is going to get. Plus the fact that it is 5 rounds, so I think Gegard's going to defend a lot of these takedowns, wear on that gas tank, and he's going to TKO him in the 3rd round right there. Really good fight in the middleweight division.